Sean Strickland, great message, awful messenger. Okay, and there's an application point in my opinion, for Christians to really grasp from this. So Sean Strickland, we've covered him on the Blessed God Studios channel before. He is a UFC fighter. He had an amazing interview with Theo Von. He opened up, very vulnerable, very emotional, talking about all these things in his childhood that at one point, much like myself, made him question if God existed, made him question if God was real because of all the jacked up things that happened to him. Now, in conversation, he gets pressed, and the way he pushes back is theatrical, to say the least.
To say the least.
But there's a thing here. There's an important point here that I think that we as Christians are completely missing. And let's look at his clip, and then I'll get to that point. All right, so go ahead and play. So this is pre-fight, his UFC fight. He defended his belt. Unfortunately, I think he lost this fight. This is from this past weekend. And let's look at this. Go ahead.
Welcome. Glad to hear it. It's been great.
Are you Canadian?
Of course I am.
Are you part of the fucking opposition? Are you?
I don't know how to phrase that.
You got like.
I did want to ask.
Did you vote for Trudeau?
I'm not going to say.
And let me tell you something right now. If a man says he's not going to say, if you ask him, did you vote for Biden? He's like, I'm not going to say. That's none of your business. He voted for fucking Biden.
Sean,
so, hey.
There's truth there.
Hey, he turned up off the rip. Because let's be honest, like Trudeau is a tyrant, right?
Now I wonder what the reporter looked like,
I would have loved to see.
was omitting in the room before this happened because he pinned him right away.
Yeah,
I'm glad you had great experiences.
So this is what I'm talking about, you guys. The enemy of Canada.
Sure.
All right.
That's what it's got to be. It's got to be. We've got a pretty supportive community in this city. I did want to ask you about something you wrote a couple of years ago. You said if I had a son, I would think I'd.
Oh look. I'm saying to you, the swamp, you guys, the swamp.
You become a champion, you become a star, and someone says.
Let me ask you something.
They're pulling on old tweets.
Yep.
This is typical cancel approach. We're going to pull Kevin Hart's tweeted the same thing in like 2009, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to pull tweets from a decade ago, 15 years ago, and use things that Kevin Hart said in 2010 about if my son was right, like I would do this and this and this. My son was LGBT, I would do this. And so they're pulling that from his past and trying, and this is why Kevin lost the hosting of the Oscars.
Yeah.
Right? So they're trying to do the same thing here. Watch how he responds.
You had the chance.
No, are you? Let me know.
He asked him if he's a part of the LGBT community. Go ahead.
Yep.
No, I'm asking. This is a part of. Are you a man?
I'm an ally of the community.
Okay. If you had a son and he was like, you had a son, you'd be like, oh man, you don't want a grandkid?
No problem with it.
Oh man, dude, you're a weak fucking man, dude. You're like, you're part of the fucking problem. You elect.
Oh, now I think anyone in their right frame of mind, if you gave them the choice, you want your kid to be a part of the LGBT community, or do you want them to have biological grandkids?
Yep.
Biological kids that would be your grandkids. Come on, man.
I know. Come on.
Come on.
Here's the thing.
This is where that community and the allies of that community are just flat out disingenuous.
Here's the thing. If you can be an ally while admitting the fact that you want grandchildren, and also admitting the fact that like, oh, life would be a little bit easier if Stevie wasn't into Richard.
Okay, so yeah, this is the part where like the ally, I just think it's just super disingenuous, bro. You wouldn't want everybody wants their legacy to go on.
Yeah.
That's like we're hardwired as humans to want our DNA to continue. So this whole like, I would be totally happy if, he was a part of the LGBT. Like you're full of it. But go ahead.
And what makes this even more disingenuous is that the reporters are trying to get a moment because.
And does he give him a moment?
Oh, because bro, he has plenty of stuff saying crazy things. In fact, he's wearing a shirt that says right now, "A woman in every kitchen, a in every hand." Like he's poking on purpose. So to act like, oh, are you an ally of the community? Like, you're not getting that from him.
No.
Right.
When he sees the bank accounts, you're just fucking pathetic. And the fact that you have no fucking backbone, and has he shut down your fucking country and seized bank accounts, you ask me some stupid shit like that, go yourself. Move the on, man.
Now he's referencing that they did seize people's bank accounts who were protesting the bang bang and the whole lockdowns, truck drivers and people that were supporting drivers. So that really did happen. Like this isn't conspiracy theory land. That really happened. People who were getting money, people that were supporting them, this really happened, which is, again, this is why, like, Canada is not America Junior anymore. Y'all on some other stuff over there. Respectfully to all my Canadian brothers and sisters. But that's crazy.
That's crazy.
But I did want to ask also things you said about the community. You said this past October when they announced the Bud Light sponsorship that you'd go so hard on Bud Light in your next fight, they'll have to accept me or denounce me when they know what, and will know what they stand for. Are you
This guy's like, hey, this Canadian's not that Canadian.
Are you still going to use your fight time to speak on that?
Here's the thing about Bud Light. 10 years ago, to be trans was a mental illness. And now...
Whoa! He said a mental illness.
Oh, this man has no filter.
No filter. Go
He
ahead.
got the filter knocked right out of him.
sudden, people like you have weaseled your way into the world. You are an infection. You are the definition of weakness. Everything that's wrong with the world is because of you. And the best thing is the world.
That's amazing.
The world's not buying your peddling. The world is not saying, you know what? You're right. Chicks have. The world's not saying that. The world's saying, no, there are two genders. I don't want my kids being taught about who they could school. I don't want my kids being taught about their sexual preference. Dude, this guy is the enemy.
This is all reasonable. Two genders. I don't want my kids being taught who and how to do stuff in school, right? All reasonable.
Look at the enemy to our world. It's that right there, asking these stupid questions. Different. Yeah. I'm trying to be good, man. I'm trying to be good. I like the. Here's the thing. I've never.
He said, "I like the gay." I like the gay.
Never on a man or on a woman. I don't. I like the. It's freedom. We still have it in America. We'll teach you about it. You guys don't have freedom of speech. I'm surprised what I'm saying. I'm probably gonna get the Canadian government to arrest me. So I don't give a who you. I don't give a what you want to do in life. But don't tell kids about it. Don't teach that in school. Don't push your agenda. Don't try to brainwash people. Don't try to go past parents. Don't try to go up past all this and brainwash people.
Yo. Okay. Now, here's the practical takeaway. Here's the very practical takeaway. We know in John 1 that Jesus, when he came incarnate, when he came as the God-man, when he came as God in the flesh, John says that Jesus came full of grace and truth. The issue with situations like this is that there's not a whole lot I disagree with him on.
Yeah.
What I do disagree with him on is the brashness in the tone. It's the lack of grace in his speech. It's the lack of gentleness in the way he talks about this. And I think, unfortunately, what happens is one of two things. Christians have not done a good job of engaging culture and being in the highways and byways. And then two, Christians will see this and emulate it and be like, I'm going to be the Andrew Tate. I'm going to be the Sean Strickland. And then it actually doesn't progress anything. We don't actually, you could speak truth to power while being full of grace and truth.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful example we have in Jesus. And Sean, unfortunately, from my understanding, I don't know, is not a follower of Jesus, is not a Christian. I feel like he's been fairly transparent about it. But I think this creates an opportunity for the church to lead and not follow.
Yeah.
Because when we don't lead, then unfortunately we get all the lunacy we see on the left. And then you get the stuff coming as a response to this, which isn't always gentle and kind and helpful. Right. And then you get moments like that. And now people are like, oh, you're just going to, everyone's just lumped in to this, you know?
Yeah. Because, there's going to be someone that like thinks that he's Christian just because of his ideals, and they're going to be like, oh, conservatives and Christians, they're all the same thing. And this is why like Christians need to create culture, not just kind of sit by the sideline.
That's right. A soft word turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. That's it right there. That's it right there. Right out of Proverbs. We see, according to the Bible, that prayer is extremely important in terms of us being transformed from the inside out when we get aligned with God's will. For the Christians watching this channel, I want you guys to implement these spiritual disciplines in your day-to-day life. And the only way I've been able to do this consistently is through writing down my prayers in a prayer journal that does a few things. One, it allows me to reflect and come to God humbly and ask Him to move on my behalf. And 2, it allows me to document my prayers, which ultimately help me remember the very things that I was praying for and see the hand of God tangibly in my life when He answers them. So I would urge you, consider writing down your prayers. It could be in a blank notebook. It could even be on your phone. Or you could check out the one I personally designed and used for my own quiet time and spiritual discipline that I think will be a huge blessing. It's the exact structure and system that I've used for years to pray and be more consistent in my spiritual disciplines. You can pick yours up today by clicking the link in the pinned comment below. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.